Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Islands of Insight. So we found what I believe is the last trial needed to unlock puzzles, although I could be wrong. And the game crashed while I was doing several other things and leaving it running on the background. So we should start by just saying, do we even have all of our sparks? Seems to me like we probably do at 7,155, and we earned that in the last episode the hard way. And yeah, we may be close to being done as far as all of this goes. We earned all of these titles, and this is such an MMO thing to have titles unlocked as you're doing things. I assume these are just numbered titles, so there's probably several more that could be unlocked. But yeah, Spirals Within Spirals I think unlocks the final thing. Then there are still a few trials. Actually, more trials are listed here than it really seems like there should be. And a lot of lore in this Shady Wildwood area. So we've got a lot to do. So let's start with this. So spirals, to start with, just have a 180-degree rotational symmetry, which is not 100% what you would expect from a spiral symbol, because the actual spiral symbol itself is more giving the feeling that it would be 90 degrees of symmetry, that this shape here, this L, would go here and form an L here, and no, that's not really the case. It instead forms this, and then this can just be fixed that way by doing a straight line. And so yeah, this whole puzzle of chain link puzzles is a spiral in itself, and yeah. So this has to go here, which then connects to this, which hits that, which then connects to this, which hits that, which then makes you have to fill in the rest of it. And then this can only be solved that way. And see, these are the kind of puzzles I would more expect from the Witness, in that a lot of puzzles in the Witness were like this, where you solve things fairly quickly, and because you solve things fairly quickly, the numbers are just not crazy. I half suspect what's going to happen here is that the remainder of these puzzles might be the same everywhere. But I guess not. Okay, so how is this going to play out? Alright, well, color me confused. This, if that was black, would violate this, which is locked in. So then this touches those two, which then goes here and touches this one, which does that. I was missing this whole black section here, separating things. So yeah, lost a little bit of momentum there, but not really that big of a deal. And we're getting several insights. We have seen some galaxy puzzles before. So this really isn't our first appearance of them. And it's hardly a case that this is going to change things. Okay, so this black galaxy is going to be your setting that forces everything else into place. Means that much has to be true for the black settings, but then certain things here can't be true, which does bring about a question, certainly. Do that, or we could do that. If we did that, we'd have to do that. Then if we did that, we'd have to do that. And I imagine since we're going backwards on this spiral, this is actually going to be pretty easy. Let's see, so that means 1, 2 there. That means 1, 2 there. Then let's just fill in the rest of this. That means those two have to be like that. And then that has to connect back that way. This does that. I think if we did that, and that, and that, and that, nope. And the only way to get that to match, though, would be yeah, I'm confused. Yep. Slightly off confusion there. I saw a demo for another game that had cubes that looked fairly similar to this. Almost certainly this is just an Unreal Engine pre-made asset as far as fractal cubes go. How in the world? And here we can see with the water effect, there's a lot going on. Seems like you almost have to be in this central spot. But then there's more here that would be missed. There we go. We are trying to gain some like scenic understanding of areas. And that's just makes me think that even those elements are loading in the hidden arches. Right. There's plenty of room still to get distracted and to try and match things. But I'm not sure there's really a good reason to do any of them. Yeah. Let's see. So if these are the same amount, we need something that would do the same amount for green and blue. Or at least get blue. Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to work. I don't think clicking this gotta get one off. In this case, blue will never line up again. And I'm over clicking and overshooting. Is it possible this never will get me exactly where I need to be? No, I don't think it's actually possible. I think if you just spend enough time there, you will eventually solve it. I'm still very much favoring doing the sky drops. In a small part because I'm also really anticipating that the sky drops going away would make for a better experience as far as just the game running smoothly. And I guess if you have the mechanisms, you don't have the morph fields. So we need to go to this challenge area. And then pulsing monolith is another thing to try and focus on. But then there's also pillars of insight, which I think are also part of the trials that we maybe are dropping the ball on. So there's several things we could do today. There's definitely a possibility that today could be the last episode, but probably not. It just doesn't really make enough sense to try and rush towards the end, because inherently I imagine next episode will be the episode when we start giving up and start just using hints and walkthroughs to solve the mysteries. It's so stupid though, and it's really just OCD. I guess these bonuses only trigger the second time you make a match. But yeah, it's really OCD to even try to do all the puzzles here when we know we've only done like 14 of them. Okay. That's way too few. 14% at most. That's what I mean to say there. And honestly, we're closer to, I think, 5%. The whole thing is just insane. I'm just kind of going in circles here. What I needed to do is line up by one being off. It doesn't seem like that's really doable. If there's possibly a way to yeah, forget it, whatever. These little tiny sentinel ones are pretty obvious how you're going to solve them. Like, there's no way you would solve that in any other way than being in the middle. Let's get the off by one once more. I don't really like those, but I'm gonna have to do it, so let's run that way. I guess you are in a catch-22. Either you're going to play the game or you're not. So you either solve the puzzles as you go. In fairness, I am leaving the logic grids and not doing those. But yeah, there's definitely not another gameplay mechanic in this. Has that already been solved? Guess maybe it has. And I will have to admit that there is a certain point to be made that as somebody who hasn't played World of Warcraft and MMOs like that, I am not mentally coming from the idea that just clicking on a mouse and hacking and slashing or mining for gold or things like that is really something that you would want to do. But yeah, I could see if you were thinking in that World of Warcraft mentality decades later when making this and thinking that, yeah, people would appreciate and want to play. This is such a small area. This has to kind of be solvable pretty easily. But yeah, you really are just like decades late to that idea that a very basic generic action would somehow be the acceptable gameplay mechanic for any video game. Yeah. So yeah, had this game come out and looked really decent for the time and just had 10,000 plus puzzles, I could see something like that working. It still feels crazy. World of Warcraft, I would say, was very much a certain time, a certain place type product that has never really seen anybody else duplicate its success. Notice how I could knock that out of position. But even at that, like, the real comparison wouldn't be the initial launch version 1.0 of World of Warcraft to make a game like this, an MMO. It would be, what is World of Warcraft now? And I know, first and foremost, it is a major community of people who have been playing the game for a very long time and have a built-in loyalty to it, which you can't just inherently duplicate. I know it has mounts, I know it has many different regions, I know it is for many years added new content, all of which would make it seem like it would be way bigger of an experience than Islands of Insight could ever possibly hope to be. I also know it has levels of trading. There's no real trading in this. There's no trading in this at all. I don't even have to say real. Interesting how the plant even there is part of the shape. It almost makes me wonder if this whole thing is procedurally generated, that a camera creates a surface and then paints the light onto whatever surface is. There'd be a danger there of making a very difficult puzzle if it was procedurally generated, though, and that it was just on many different blades of grass. Anyways, we're here to do this Tower of Insight. All numbers are off by 1. Okay, well then we know it's 2. We know then that is 1. And we know this has to be 5. Okay. Could this be 1? Yes, if we did that. Could this be 2? No, it's got to be 4. So could this be 5? Yes. Could it be 3? No. So it's got to be white, and then that's got to be dark. Could this be 3 if it's dark? Yes. Could this be 6? 2, 4, 6. Dark and dark. Or 1 off. Because yeah, we needed 7 or we needed 5. Since these 3 are locked into white, then the thought would be to do something like that. But that only gets us to 4. That has to be dark, doesn't it? Yeah. Which makes those have to be white. Which means this can be dark, this can be dark, this can be dark, and this can be dark. Of your entire options. Which means that has to be white. And that could be white. So I think I'm just wrong about something here. Yeah. Okay, so this is 1, which makes all of these that, which makes that, which then planes into all of that. Although this could be 3, so let's undo this, and this could be 3. But no, this 3 here can't connect to this, so that does make that, and that. Okay. 6 off by 1 makes that 5, makes that 1. 4 off by 1 makes that 3. 5 off by 1 could be 4. 4 could be 3, or it could be 5. Nope, we need a separation there. Okay. So this has to be that. That has to be that. This could be that. This could be that. But there's a separation here, somewhere between this and this. This would be 5, so this has to be white. Which then makes this have to go this way. Which then makes that have to be black, making that white. I'm not sure exactly how this goes. You do that and that, I guess. So then that would have to be 2 there, making that 4. Then this would have to be 2. And this would have to be 3, so that and that. That goes that way. 4, could be 3 if we did that. This has to be 2. Which makes that have to match that. Which makes that have to match that. Okay. 6 and 7 can't match, although 5 and 7 technically could. Which means this has to equal 8. And 4 at minimum. There we go. I keep expecting each one of these though to unlock one of the final quests. Yeah, we've unlocked something. It'll be a while before we have enough to get to the warp ability, but I also question whether the warp ability is going to be useful. Yeah. We're missing trials. Which is that inherently because we missed some puzzles on the Enclave? Or is it this match 3 challenge round, which we couldn't do the other match 3 challenge round? Yeah. Looking around here on the Enclaves, there aren't any trials listed. So I do think that in Shady Wildwood, 3 trials may very well be built around getting the Enclaves to 100%. And then the thought of the all-seeing monolith is another factor. We should just go and check out this first, though. I just kind of wish there was like quest givers or something in this world. Or just any signs of life in the world at all would be appreciated. It does seem just awkwardly empty. And I suppose at some level we are also hoping to find all of the dialogue too. Okay. The all-seeing monolith, I believe, is there. My assumption also is going to be that unlock its last thing is probably to go beneath it. What are we looking at? No, this is not the all-seeing monolith. This is a different thing. These sky drops really do make such a visual mess. Yeah, I definitely have this desire just to get rid of them. Which that does speak to a potential ability that would be fairly useful to unlock, to just toggle certain types of puzzles off. That way you're not distracted by them. Here's a lore thing. I move amongst the shadows of giants. These things greater and older than myself, risen in ages past. Let them stand forever, so the others too may someday wonder at their feet. So, there are several games. Submerged is probably a extreme example and not a good comparison, but I'm going to mention it anyways, where you have the worlds set in a post-apocalyptic, just post-society settings, and so it's supposedly the real world, but there's just been plenty of time for nature to reclaim things and crumble and disintegrate things. This is not a game like that, is the point I'm trying to make. I'm doing a very poor job at making. Nothing about this world screams that it has ever been a real world or been like the real world. It definitely is described as a garden created by a god. Okay. So last time we saw this happen, we pretty quickly started to learn that there was some major flaws in how you solve all of these. Yeah. And this is really just going to be a point of exiting and starting over again. I suppose if there was puzzles that I could better solve, and get better at solving, that would be great. Job this time around. But anyway, that's going to get down to the right spot. You can see I'm moving incredibly slow throughout all of this, pretty obviously. I would not think that I would deserve any reward for this. Unless they are just asking the bare minimum here of solve all the puzzles. Or solve as many puzzles. But then why would they ask have such a difficult level of puzzles that you would need to solve in the first one of these? If you're gonna just make it easier. Yeah, 5 is about as much as I think I'm gonna get here. I imagine they are looking for something closer to 20. Yeah. Okay. I don't think it's really worth even giving it a second try here. So let's look at these and see which ones of these did we not get all the puzzles. That would be 2 enclaves. Which would still leave 2 things, and then there's Pillar of Insight. Let's do that. We've gone full circle here. See if we can get any of these shy ores. This definitely feels like it might have been intentionally designed so that you would have to run backwards. This is one of the slow approach ones. Ark. Once again, I'm just getting distracted. I bet there's just not an edge here you can get to where you'll get far enough away from it. So I don't know how you really are supposed to get this shy aura considering how you have to jump. And I would assume that a jump is always going to be an issue. Yep. Yep. It definitely just feels impossible. Yet we're gonna have that sound effect taunt us. Whatever. No 3 in a row. Okay, well. If you can't do 3 in a row, does that inherently make too much of a challenge? I don't think so in this case. I think maybe. Interesting. I have to connect all dark cells, but I also can't do 3 in a row on either. Which makes that have to be light, and that have to be light, and that have to be light. And then I guess what we can do here is we can look for some kind of solution. Although I don't know what the real solution here is. Guess it's that. No 3 in a row here, in which we connect all dark cells. Just makes that shape. Let's just make some assumptions here. Yeah, this actually I don't think is anywhere as difficult as I think it would seem at first. Of course, this also was a Tower of Insight that I should have done much earlier in the gameplay. Oh, I've got it. You know how we're supposed to reach this? This way. No, apparently not. Even falling and gliding down slowly is not slow enough. So yeah. Maybe if you just feather tap. don't see a way you do that. So there's our all-seeing tower. And unless we are going to do the enclaves, I feel like the all-seeing tower is probably our next step. Last time we had the situation where the all-seeing tower wasn't pointing towards anything, it was because there was a cube fairly close to it. I think really close. And so this is a whole floating island concept here, with stairs to get to places, which I think does definitely play more into the idea that at some point in this game they probably were thinking that you wouldn't have the flying ability just so early in the gameplay or so prevalent as an experience. Let's come over here and check. Got these whole columns, which there is something to that. These jump pads, again, I guess evidence that at some point they thought you weren't going to be able to jump high in the air or glide. Which, in fairness, I guess if you were just speed running the game and not attempting to unlock any of those abilities, you then wouldn't have those abilities. But at a certain point, you're not making a speed run at that point as much as you're making a slower, can you beat the game without solving the minimal number of puzzles. Like if you could get this down to, say, 100 puzzles, the minimum number of puzzles would be honestly more intriguing to me than seeing someone do it in a fast manner. Is this the one we couldn't do before? Yes. Let's not engage with that again. This 2 is probably... There is a tendency with these matchboxes to not have them on a ledge looking down at another box, which I guess I kind of appreciate that. It widens the realm of possibilities as far as just where you could stand to make a match. This was a mystery that we found. Okay. Already found. That green box supposed to match something? You can see inside this place in a few places, so I think there's a decent chance we will actually enter. guess if these are glowing gold, we've already solved it, haven't we? We're looking for all-seeing monolith cubes. I actually would have to see the all-seeing monolith. So I have a couple of thoughts on that. One would be that it is just within this region. The other would be that it is actually inside this building. If it was inside the building, then there would have to be a face on this side of the building that faces outward, assuming we are following that logic. Now see, I don't really like this design, and I think that probably is a great example of where the actual design of this is pretty lackluster. It is just a lot of let's throw some Unreal Engine assets together with little consideration for how many empty cavities that's going to eventually just create. I think that's exactly what I saw here, is that there is just a window here, and then there's just an empty cavity there. The all-seeing monolith is visible from this section, so it is possible there could be a cube. It's not particularly believable. We can hear there's a shy monolith, shy aura. Where that shy aura actually is, though. So we should just go down lower here, I guess. See if we find anything. I still am very much in the questioning stage, though, with the all-seeing monolith, as far as are there specific enclaves or trials that I have to do to get it to point somewhere. I don't believe that is the case. We've kind of proven that isn't the case, but with a lack of any other guidance, I do have to turn back to that thought. I suppose this is a good time to try out matchboxes while we're at it. Square, there's a square, and there was a green one here. None of those match. All kinds of hidden cubes you can chase after. And there's going to be so many areas like this. So many little areas where there's going to be a little bit of puzzles. To distract you. But I would have to assume this is not one of the areas I'm looking for. Just because I can't actually see the pulsing aura, pulsing monolith. This is one that has 2 puzzles in this enclave, so let's just go to this enclave and see if we can find the 2 puzzles. Yeah. If I recall correctly, two still available. We have no idea which ones they are. We do know that there are sky drops and morphofractals and sightseers. And we assume it is not the chase sequences. So I do remember. I also know there's matchboxes. Do remember this area. So this will be an interesting thought as far as have we gotten any better at finding things in several hours of gameplay? Or are we really still just at the same basic level of skill when it comes to actually finding the puzzles? I wouldn't be surprised if we're mostly still at the same basic level. There's maybe a couple tricks we've seen. But for the most part it is, I think, the exact same. Wait a minute. That looks like a matchbox puzzle we haven't done. Interesting. How could we have missed that so poor? So, I mean, that seems like that's pretty obvious. But I also will fully admit my brain was probably mush when I did this puzzle area before. This is not the right spot. It's right above it. If I was to say to stand here, and just barely click it. So I'd say you probably have an arc of right about here, maybe something hidden in the trees, to about the same angle arc on the other side. Again, maybe something hidden in the trees. Maybe something hidden in the ground, maybe something even hidden on a very sharp edge on the ground. Yeah, and I really just need to find the matchbox. And that would only be one puzzle, so there's still an obvious thing I'm missing. I don't know why I'm saying it's obvious. Could be very much that it's not obvious. See, like, that is about the minimum angle that way. Is there a possibility of standing here? You can stand about here and hit it, which would mean that there would have to be a red one there. Is there a possibility of standing here? I mean, technically yes. Which means it could go down this direction too. I know one of the puzzles we did here was real frustration. This one's already been solved. Solve that one. Solve that one. These purple flowers. Sometimes look like there's something else. And I think in this area there is no hidden things, no hidden rings, no hidden arcs. That should at least slightly reduce the possibilities. Let's get up on this floating pillar. It does let me see that from a particularly good angle. With no red one to match. Far up in the sky does make some sense. My skills as far as just platforming and gliding almost certainly are better now than they were previously. Still not really sure why that one shoots me up in the air. Did we never accomplish this? No, we have bronze on that, and I don't think the game is counting it against me just because I didn't get silver. Again, I can get a very nice vantage point from there. Which inherently there's so many high vantage points for this that does feel like an implication that I should go low. Because either it is higher or it's further. I would be extremely shocked if it turned out that there was another morphic puzzle here. It's much more believable that there's simply just something hidden in the trees. I guess when I was in this area, I didn't really realize I had the right click ability. Just gonna kind of fly through the trees and see if I can see anything, although probably won't see anything flying through trees. So yeah, I could see the zoom ability playing a role. I just found it. So it's this spot here. And one assumes that spot there. The trees are blocking the view completely. Is there seriously no way? Well, it's a figure 8 and a letter E. Let's go and double check to make sure the symbols are even the same. Figure 8 and letter E. Okay. Okay. So if we stand here, can we hit it? That still leaves one puzzle. I guess maybe that teaches me to fly around the edges some more. The fact that these still make noise is a distraction I don't like. We were all up looking at the trees on the other side, maybe. This area in particular is really broken. Again, just trying to look up in the trees and look on the edges. I'm assuming there are two matchboxes we've missed completely. Although, if there aren't, then you know there aren't really any sky drops in this area. Solve this one? Yeah. So I don't think, yeah, it just constantly wants to respawn me in the exact wrong place. And I don't know if that is perhaps a intentional mystery or what. Did we not solve the Sky Drops challenge well enough? Is that a possibility? I don't think so. Is it possible that there's yet another mystery in this area? I don't think that would make a lot of sense either. We did those. I wonder if maybe there's something in the trunks of fallen trees. Did that. If anything, we've probably spent the least amount of time in this section. The interior. That being said, I don't know what else you could do here. And we did have, if we go and look at the mysteries, let's see. One of these had a picture. Several of these had a picture. But one of the pictures didn't look too different from where we are right now. Here we go. A fallen temple lies in a place of deepest blue. From here, 4 flowing paths lead to 4 different directions. A temple is touched by 2 of those paths, where 2 logic grids dance atop grinning lions. Switch 2 and 4 within one of them. Yeah, that's not this location. We do have, though, an opportunity here to buy war points, which we now have unlocked every single ability for what that's worth, which would just leave us now purchasing customizations if we were going to do anything with the rest of the sparks that we get through the rest of this game. And honestly, it's probably not worth the effort to spend that extra time to buy customizations that I have no concern for or care for at all. Is it possible I'm missing something here? Crumbling. This is a crumbling temple. But there's a bunch of crumbling temples. Solved that one already. Hey, so there was just one we missed. That's a little crazy. Trying to figure out how to expand this to the right size. it's just kind of a level of straightness with this in which it barely has any curve. Feels like we're really close, but honestly we're not very close. We need to get something closer to like that. So then we've 100%ed that area, and that should level us up. Does that on the map, however, mark that a trial is done? As far as I can tell. So there's something on this map I am missing. There's like 6 puzzles here in this enclave, so I guess maybe that's a trial. Let's just zoom in to the highest level as far as that would just be a whole different area. There's a trial. There's a trial. So I guess found the difference might be really the last thing. Let's see. Let's see if we can fly in that general direction to this other enclave. Important to point out that there really was not any major reward for being able to fly to another area, and once we got to the later sections of the later main areas, you found that a significant number of them were cheating anyways and putting shields. This is the whole upside down place, which I do think is where one of the mysteries is. I don't imagine I'll be particularly good, any better than where I was before. Yeah, I think we did all the puzzles. That were on this island. Although it's hard to tell. This too doesn't quite feel imagine I'm not just gonna accidentally find the 6 remaining, 8 remaining puzzles. Seems like a lot. Again, I guess I probably didn't have a high level of zoom ability, though. But yeah, getting that log puzzle in particular doesn't strike me as something that I'd ever really be able to pull off. I wonder if there's maybe some puzzle under there. Nope. We got the log puzzle here, and it even shows that the puzzles are being hung upside down. S1, which it's not going to be too hard to solve that. That leaves us with 7, so maybe there's just a whole area here that wasn't particularly thorough about. I could see myself shooting myself up there. But is that this? A fallen temple lies in the deepest blue. From here, 4 flowing paths lead to 4 different directions. The temple is touched by 2 of those paths, where 2 logic grids stand screeningly atop lions. Yeah. None of that screams accuracy. None of that seems to be right. Just this desire that if you find something on top of this platform, this temple, it's going to be on bottom of the other temple. Or if you find something on top of one island, it's going to be reflected on the bottom of the islands. There's something. Let's go ahead and grab that. Well, I appreciate the idea here. This is gonna, like, I appreciate the idea that I potentially can get, like, I potentially could get 100% of all the enclaves done. Game seems to indicate that there's no actual reward for doing that. Okay. This section. Puzzle there. Let's make sure. We'd already fallen through that. Just don't see a way. This island is the opposite of that island there. It's what I think. It's the situation there, so theoretically there should be some kind of hidden arch here. Which tells me the angle I'm looking for. I think should be somewhere over there. Okay, we see it. Basically going to have to hop into it. Oh, seriously. I was so close. I should have just clicked. Should have just clicked. That feels like that would have actually worked. So even if we get these, the remaining 5, did we get that one? Yes. Even if we do get that, like, remaining 5 puzzles done here, I don't think it's really counting for much of anything. The bottom side of that ring, I think, should have a lot more going for it. I guess the weirdest thing would be if there were puzzles to be solved Maybe we didn't go through that one. It would be fairly weird if there were puzzles to be solved in the correct layout. It's still kind of believable. Got that and that. We got that and that and that and that. So it does kind of feel like if there was something hidden, it would have to be hidden on both sides of one of these islands. I'm not sure exactly what that hidden thing could be. Yeah, I think your best bet is probably to launch yourself this way and then use your targeting. I guess there could be something in the trees. Oh, why am I doing this though? We unlocked that warp ability. Now is the time to use it. Let's see what we can do with warp. Okay. Let's find a nice little spot here. We're going to look down and we're going to put a warp. So that is... Now how do we warp there? By clicking on it. So if I look over there, that doesn't count as a warp. So you have to be standing in the spot first. Doesn't inherently mean this isn't going to work. If we were to bring up the map at this point, can we just warp back? No. Finally. Okay. Let's just experiment without even thinking this through by doing that. There is exactly one symbol per dark area, which means they wouldn't have connected. And then this one, and these are all looking for more. Okay, well, one symbol per dark area means that much, I think, has to be true. Yeah. And then two symbols per dark area means that much has to be true. Okay, which runs into a problem on this side. Okay. Okay. If that reflects up that way, though, then this would just keep going forever, wouldn't it? 4 symbols here also implies something like that. Three symbols. Would mess up that. Five symbols. Could do that. But then this is gonna break just everything. Six symbols. Yeah, 5 now. 6 could do that. 5 symbols. Could do that. Could do that. But then that breaks this. Then that breaks that. Let's go ahead and use a hint. Oh, this can't possibly be connected. No way. There's no way this is connected. This would be just total insanity. Seriously? No way. If this is really connected, then everything has to just be mirrored. I can't believe that's really the case. No, we know it's not connected, though. So it's gonna be something closer to that. Okay. So if we did that, that matches 5. Is there a way to get a 4 in here? If we did that, that matches 4. Wait, 3. Do that to get to that 3. here. It would almost certainly have to be that. To get to 4, I'd have to do this, which then breaks the 3. So we'll make a shape like that instead. Making a little rocket ship shape, I guess. Okay. So then we need 3, which doing that would satisfy that much, but it wouldn't satisfy the 2. Doing that wouldn't satisfy that much. So then we only have an issue of 4 being too much. Let's see. Yeah, and almost certainly the last hint would be the solution. Something that's possibly going to take that away. No, that won't work. So yeah, we're just kind of waiting for the foresight to tell us the last move. That. Okay. I don't see any way that that's going down further, though. And I don't see the point there. Why would that need to hit that spot? Doing that moved 1 down. Doing that changes basically nothing. Doing that and doing that. Maybe changes a little bit. Doing that. But yeah, you're not going to get to 5 that way. Okay. So then we know that much is right. We think that much is right. This gives us 4. Is there any other way to get a 5 here? And this gives us 1 too many. Gives us 3. Hmm. So weirdly, that's not connected to any of that? I am confused. I am super confused. No. Yeah, if I was to do that, that would touch that. That's almost certainly wrong. If I was to do that, and that's almost certainly wrong. So how would we get one more into the spot? Actually, I don't see a way to get one more. My instincts would say that you'd have to do that. Guess that works. Only problem now is we are one extra. Okay, I solved it. It still leaves 4 puzzles in this area. I just question whether I'd be able to really find them. Yeah, I guess my skills as far as finding puzzles have increased slightly, but I wouldn't really call it a knocked out of the park improvement. I wouldn't call it a home run. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. The big move. I guess you can probably only warp when you can see the warp. Yeah. Just keep an eye on the trees. The best move would be to be on the surface of this main island and wandering around, which I guess is best achieved by just falling. The fact that I load in this area maybe is a statement that there might be something I'm missing. Probably was a bit lacking in skill as far as just the high jumps go. So I could see there being high jumps that I just missed. What I don't suspect I'll find in this area, though, is a full trial that I've somehow missed. I do think there's a small possibility that maybe under these stairways might be something. Getting on top of things does make a lot of sense. Does feel like this area has a decent number of things. Puzzle here. There's a hidden gate there. There's a puzzle down there. And then seems like nothing on top. This island is reflected on that island. It's possible, I suppose. I haven't been to that island very much. This island has several things on it. I suppose it's possible that I just have not really investigated this one much. The fact that you can crash into the trees is irritating. Okay. Is there, hidden amongst the roots here, a puzzle? Or anything? I suppose it is possible it's just in the middle of a more open section. There could be a hidden arc there. Feels like there's a cube there inside that tree, but that was just a visual glitch, I think. Once again, I think we're going to end up just ending this episode and leaving this enclave. Not finishing this. Yep, I'm less and less likely to believe at this point that it really isn't the trees. Of course, it could be hidden in these shorter brush trees. Okay. If that is there, we have found 2 of them. Let's wander around on this island. Not shooting me up high enough. That's definitely not high enough either. Just gonna have to fly over to this section. Let's see if maybe that gets us high enough. No. So far, I'm not finding the warp points to be particularly helpful. They're a little helpful, but just a little. Is it possible that this archway here would lead to some kind of secret? Nope. My theory would be that if we miss something in that area, there's a decent chance we miss something else in that area. Do I think it's another hidden archway though? Interesting. You can warp to places while flying, which might unlock something. Some ability. So I'm saying ignore the temple. Let's ignore the temple. Just kind of wander around. Mostly trying to listen with our ears to see if we hear beginning of an arch revealing itself. This area does seem weirdly empty. there's 3 things. On this island, 3 things. Seems about right. Whatever we're missing, we are missing on both sides. Which I think does imply to me that it is probably a hidden arch. So your best bet is to probably look and see where the arches are. And if you see an arch, assume you're not going to see another one. For at least a small while. And then I guess logic would state that if it is an arch, which let's assume it is, it's got to be something that you're going to have to fly through on the underside of it. So it's probably going to be more on the edge than in the middle. Of course, I could be completely wrong, and it could be a case where there are actually 2 separate things on the underside I've just missed. Okay. What I want to do here is just kind of fly around the edges. And then work my way downward. Again, if it's a hidden arch though, it's going to be set up in such a way that you can fly through it, so kind of would have to be on a platform. Unless you just are going to have to crash head on. Work our way down. Probably is something worth investigating as far as these side doors. Like, I've probably gone through these sections multiple times, but not those sections much at all. So yeah, that is also believable that maybe there's an arch in one of those areas. That being said, getting close to it should trigger the audio if that was the case. Finding anything. Is it possible that it's over here? Well, what if it was just like a really hidden arch. This island. Where is this island reflected? That's the weird one. Like, reflection here should be that island is the reflection of that island. Okay. This island is reflected on that island. The other side of this island has 1, 2, 3 puzzles. Side of that island has 1 puzzle. Which, if there was proper reflection, should be a puzzle right here, and there isn't. Let's look inside the temple for a while. Then we ignored the temple and that didn't go anywhere, so of these openings might have a secret thing. Unfortunately, I think this is going to be a case where we're going to try all of these and find out none of them are right. Is it possible that there's a puzzle just hidden? Or a hidden ring, just hidden. In a corner, that would be the weirdest output of the whole thing. It does feel like there could be a hidden arch on top of these. No such luck. The weird thing is how these puzzles seem to all play against each other. That puzzle, this puzzle in particular, is not in the same place, which would make me think that there is supposed to be a puzzle down here. Is there possibly anything else we could do? On this island. So yeah, it feels to me like I probably am just missing something dumb. Would there be? Yeah, and if it was going to be an invisible arch, it would have to be touching the ground, right? Otherwise it would be an invisible ring, which that does highlight how half of these puzzles are kind of the same thing. Walk around on the ceiling here and see if we trigger anything. Any of these windowsills, guess, could lead to something. There's no way to hit that. The only thing you could do is kind of fall. And I just don't think there aren't hidden rings here. Alright, well, the game has decided for me, because I am stuck in the ground, that it's time to leave. Which, fine. That gives us an opportunity to claim some luminous quests, and hopefully that doesn't bite us in the butt. and start just a couple more. Might as well. And we will just ignore that spot. We have the all-seeing monolith in the match 3 challenge round and find a difference. And I'd really like to do the all-seeing monolith. I could. What's the question there? It's just where on the ground, somewhat near to it, would a cube be? That's exactly what I suspect we will find. So where are you cubes? Can we see the all-seeing monolith here? I do think you probably have a higher chance of finding a monolith cube in a grouping of other activities. Now, here's an interesting question to ask, certainly, is if we found the cube there, does that lower your circle radius as far as where you need to search for the other cube? Probably does. So while there is a lot of verticality here, the sphere in which you should be searching, I think, is pretty small. Right, and this is a lot of places. So there is a lot of them. That I hadn't found yet. Okay. With again, you kind of need to be in the visible range of the all-seeing monolith. Okay. Let's shoot ourselves way up. It's pointing down. This direction. These shy ores are going to make the all-seeing monolith more difficult. Because they look too much like the cubes. They're basically the same texture. Of course, they're circles or discs. one up there. 2. Alright, well. Kind of going in circles here. Definitely pointing in that direction. Already found. Another one. Notice how you can just be flying and also making matches. So I'm not sure if it's a timer thing or what, as far as what triggers the laser here. Sometimes it comes on, sometimes it goes away. And I do think the arrows also are pointing in small areas, not huge areas. That one's already found too. Alright. Well, let's double check to make sure we haven't already done the all-seeing monolith. Then is it possibly pointing to ones it's already seen? Maybe it cycles. That would feel like more of a glitch than intentional if it was cycling between showing you ones it's already found versus ones it's yet to find. Anytime I get close to it, though, the marker goes away. So this may be giving me a good excuse to run around places, but also it's taking up a lot more time. These must just be particularly well hidden. That would be my assumption. Because, yeah, I'm not finding them. Like stone statues don't make the most sense. The angle on that one seems pretty high. If the angle means anything at all. It may not mean much. If we did find a cube and could click on it, we could click on it from this distance. Slight concern that perhaps the cubes themselves are on islands or past what you would consider being part of this area. Oh, that's fragment. One down. There's a lot more to go than I thought. So this inherently probably guarantees at least one more episode on top of the one more episode I was assuming I was going to make anyways. I think we're finishing this game for at least 2 more episodes. The desire is still very much to unlock a unlock all of the hints naturally. If we even did that much, then that would show at least some small level of mastery. So it must be just somewhere past these trees. Not seeing it, but yeah, I would assume it's not down there because can't see the all-seeing monolith from that point. Could try and solve this one. While we're here. There's all same monolith. Do we see any monolith fragments? It could be in the trees, but no, I don't think I would believe that's where they would place them. It'd be inconsistent, certainly, if that was the case. Of course, puzzles are better if the understanding is consistent. Go and follow this one. This one could be in quite a few places. This is probably too far though. Going all the way to the ledge. I would suspect that it's inside this building. Let's see. Might be on the outer edges of the building. Yep. Well, it kind of weirdly seems to point it further to the right here. There we go. We've kind of gone full circle several times. See, I just don't know if I've really even done anything with this temple. This may be the temple with the mystery in it. That is believable. Getting stuck on the ground. So that little puzzle. Just killing time as I'm trying to wait for my large jump to refill. this is the match 3 challenge, which I suspect I'll never be able to really solve. Okay. So the angle is lower. And a little bit to the left here. So it's either missing this temple altogether, or it is just squeezed in a ledge. My guess is it's probably just squeezed in between this area and this area. Again, you can't really even see the all-seeing monolith from this angle. The game really does have every single opportunity to hide things from you, though. Just keep you guessing, keep you looking. Not just going to be in one of these hidden sections. I don't think you actually are going to get in this temple. If it's pointing at kind of a higher angle, which it seems like it is. Really implies to me that it would have to be somewhere there. But maybe that's what's tricking me. Maybe it instead is just on the ground in this area. I'm gonna have to give up, unfortunately. And this episode's gonna go way too long if I don't. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. where that's pointing if it was going to stop. Down here. It's just like right next to the pearl. Is there any way that's really the possibility? Let's see, that one's already found. Again, we are assuming it is not in the trees. It is on the ground somewhere. Anyway, I'm gonna be able to hit that. I'm noticing that there are some islands up there, so perhaps move. Is I have to shoot myself way up. Which I didn't see a monolith fragment on the way up, but I wasn't really in a great position to look. To this island, I guess. Does seem to maybe imply we're getting closer. Is it possible it's on the underside of an island? So many opportunities for bricks, though, to be in the side of this temple. That's another example where I think it is very possible that almost any brick in this game could be replaced procedurally with matchboxes and it would still kind of work. And again, pointing more downward. is a whole section. Bridge between two lands, two lines. Single spark can set fire to a forest. And this straight up crosses into the other area, so this is something I'd like to investigate further later. That does certainly beg some questions as far as how many sections of this game have I still really done a poor job of walking past and seeing. You can hear how the music loads in differently when you enter a new area, which I'll applaud that. That is not bad design. And the music is pretty good, and it's achieving its main goal of not being annoying. That being said, I can't imagine 10,000 plus puzzles being solved in any game without the music potentially becoming a little annoying. So we've got two more. One pointing in this area, which I'm still struggling to find. Up there went one. That's the puzzles disappearing and spawning out to spawn in new ones. So I believe we now have only one remaining one. To find, and it is the one that's giving us the most trouble. Somewhere in this general direction. I'm thinking maybe the angle is just totally wrong. Because it would either have to be right on the edge, on this face of the building, would have to be kind of far down this direction and somehow squeezing through so that it actually can hit the monolith. Pointing down lower. It's pointing more at an angle here. So I do just kind of feel like it's gonna be somewhere over here. Is it possibly on the ground? So low that you can't see it. Is it possibly under the tree trunk? I could kind of see it being on the ground, under the tree trunk. Yeah, you can see the all-seeing monolith from this spot. So it does seem like that's viable, I guess. Everything seems to indicate could be even all the way down here. There's an assumption being made here that the arrow wouldn't overshoot. It wouldn't tell you to go and look in this direction when actually it was half the distance of the length of the arrow. And then there is also an assumption that the arrow is at the right angle, correct angle. Both of those assumptions could be very wrong. Yeah, it definitely feels like we've just looked at the face of this tower, and if anything, the tower is supposed to be blocking the directions. do see something down there. Let's go and investigate that. The Sentinel puzzle. Might be. Obviously, it's not going to be really directly connected to finding the pulsing monolith fragment, but it will perhaps point me in the right direction. Is it possible that it goes all the way past the temple? Oh, I find that hard to believe. It would go all the way past the temple and then view is just being blocked by the temple. This is a great example of how this whole thing can be super easy and then turn super difficult. I guess technically nope. Wow. No, technically this still is part of that area, even though the music is changing. Interesting. So, like artistically, that would make a lot of sense. Good idea is louder than the voice that speaks it. There's a whole challenge area. And that does the all-seeing monolith. So it was sliding past the temple. And so, is that unlocking the second to last hint? Yes, it is. Okay. And so, in this last 2 seconds, I have gotten extremely lucky. And here is definitely a spider-like branching, which is also, I think, one of the mysteries. So yeah, we are in, I'm going to mark that and then remove that mark. We are in a really good position for next time because we can do found the difference and get 2 mirror blisses, which probably also means these 2. And then there's apparently one other trial that I haven't done other than this match 3 quest, which I assume is the last of the trial. Scurry hurry. We missed one there. Okay. We can take that away. And then we're going to just kind of conveniently ignore the fact that we didn't do all the enclaves to 100%. Alright, and so that's just put us in a really good position overall for Shady Wildwood. And then it would just be Pillars of Insight in lore fragments for Serene, the 5th area. There's still about 1 lore fragment missing from each of the areas. Then there's 4 lore fragments that I feel like probably only unlock after doing something else. It might very well be that the lore fragments that are at the end are perhaps echoes of time for doing a bunch of these things, or they are perhaps lore fragments that unlock from doing mysteries, and so that might be a backwards way of finding out just how many mysteries are in an area. Exact lore fragments, though, are not a reward for getting these levels up to the highest. Yep. We have 1,692, and we're increasing our abilities. We've long since gotten all the puzzle types. We've gotten all the grid rules. As far as insights go, this might be the last one to unlock. Yeah. And I assume the other insights just get the red dot removed after you exit the game and load back in. As far as actually caring about the lore fragments, I really don't. It might also be a case that some of these lore fragments only unlock once you've unlocked previous ones. Echoes of Time might have made some sense if we could get them all. It seems like each row here is an Echo of Time experience. Yeah. And yeah, I don't care enough about the customization at the moment to actually go and purchase things. So we'll just end this long running episode here with the flower in front of us, or tree in front of us. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching. Thanks.